Well, hello everybody, and welcome to VM Artificus. This is a new VM Artificus using the Chaos Theorem Village mod and Terralith and some other stuff. It's my private world. You guys probably haven't seen much from this because I don't normally share anything going on in this world. This is just my little, for those of you that are familiar with Superman, this is my little palace of solitude, I guess you'd call it. So what I wanted to talk about today, and I don't even know that I should, I don't even know if this is a good idea, I don't even know if this will help, because I don't see anybody else doing this. There are people that talk about their feelings like flow state, but they're always giving you a solution. And I don't have a solution, I just have these things that are bothering me and my feelings, and I can't imagine that you are going to want to sit here and listen to me babbling on about the stuff that's bothering me. And I don't know about, I won't be able to edit this, so whatever I do release, it's going to be really raw and rough because I'm not going to be able to be editing this thing. So I'm not quite sure the best approach here. I'm going to give this a try. It looks like I have stone over here. I haven't been in this world for a little while now. Let's grab a couple of picks and we'll go over to the mine. Apparently I do not have my crafting table up here. I thought I did, but I guess I put it out here on the porch. Yeah, that's what I've done. I'm supposed to meet up with the other fellows and do an episode of Blockheads today. We're doing it today instead of Wednesday because Wednesday's just not working for a lot of us. And it looks like not even today is going to work very well for a lot of us. Let's grab my sword just in case there's anything waiting for me out here. This is my little hot tub area out here. I love these little areas for like a hot tub. This is where the whole hot tub thing that you might see me talking about in other videos started, is over here. This is another version of my little trading emerald farm that I've got over here with these villagers. With this little farm here. And then over this way we've got a mine. So what I wanted to talk about today is this thing that I'm struggling with. And maybe somebody will have some feedback or a useful idea how to deal with it. So I should start off by telling you that originally I was never interested in doing YouTube or being a content creator or even playing Minecraft. When I first saw pictures of Minecraft, I didn't like it at all. It kind of changed when I discovered that there are these things called shaders, and I can make the game look a little better with them and texture packs. So I got a little more interested. I was going to college at the time when I really started looking into Minecraft. I started watching some of Grian's videos. I started doing what I was doing on YouTube before, which was, video tutorials, trying to teach different building things in Minecraft. That's what I knew, so that's what I was doing, but it didn't really stick. I created these really long, clunky episodes that, I don't know if anybody really appreciated those. I built a few houses and I submitted them over at Planet Minecraft, and you can still see those to this day. I think they're still there. But what I was creatively was a writer, and basically that's what I am. That's what I have skill and talent and ability in, is writing. But I never wanted to do writing. I never thought writing had enough visibility is the only word I could think of. Like, there's no validation with writing. You can't submit a chapter somewhere and, get a bunch of feedback and thrive off of that. You basically got to complete the whole book and try to get it published. And then maybe based on how your response after it's published, you'll figure out if it was liked by people or not. But you can't just submit bits and bobs as you're going along, because that might distract you from whatever it is you're trying to write. I don't know how to explain myself very well. So I went into level editing and modeling. I tried to learn Blender. I tried to do level editing for games like Unreal Tournament. That's what I did because I'm more of a visual person, or at least that's what I tell myself. I don't know if that's really true. But that's what I was thinking. And, you know, at least with level editing, you get some kind of visual feedback. You get a little gratification when you complete it. You don't really feel like you accomplished much when you write. I don't know how to explain that very well, but you don't. But at least with level editing and modeling, you do. But I found no success there with level editing, modeling, none of that stuff. And Blender was very difficult to learn. So I kind of lost interest in that. The feedback that I did get for the levels that I designed was mostly negative. And I understand it because none of my levels were really that good. The best thing I ever did from that period of time was when I did the whole Valenwood mod thing. It's different than the other Valenwood mods you guys have probably heard of that are more popular for Morrowind. I got into Morrowind, and I did something called Valenwood, which is basically a tree village on a little island. Or at least my idea of one out of some models that I created, and that actually got some positive feedback, but it was too little too late, and it didn't help me keep going. So I kind of quit the whole level editing and modeling thing. I don't even know what I did in between. I think I was going to college. I was trying to do the instructional videos at YouTube, and then trying to do the instructional videos for Minecraft when I finally found it, but I don't really know or remember what I was doing in between. But then eventually I got serious about Minecraft about the time I left college, about the time I graduated. I did graduate, thank goodness, at least I accomplished that much. About that same time I got serious about Minecraft, so that's like 2017, 2018. So I know that's kind of disappointing to some of you that thought I've been doing this for years and I'm some kind of, you know, undiscovered, amazing YouTube content creator. Let's just be honest, I'm not. I only got serious about Minecraft and doing content. It's only been about, I'd say, 5 years now, maybe 6 years, somewhere in that vicinity. And my motivations probably aren't good. I think what I'm doing is I'm seeking validation through what I'm doing, my creative work. I think I'm seeking validation. And I don't like that they say the validation is the same as approval. I don't really feel that way. To me, it feels like I have a reason to exist. There's a reason for me to be doing something. There's something that I can do that others appreciate, and it doesn't feel the same as approval to me. I'm not like a kid that is desperate for the approval of some other kid and hands him a bunch of candy and, you know, baseball cards. That's what, in my mind, what seeking an approval looks like. You know, it's like a dog that rolls over on its back and shows you its belly. I'm not doing that. To me, it's about seeking validation. You know, yes, you can do this. You're good at this. And people like what you're doing, and you know there's hope that you can maybe create some kind of future out of this, or there was. I guess there's not that hope much anymore, because I just can't bring myself to edit videos anymore and to create content. I'm barely holding it in there with the live streaming right now. I'm actually thinking about finishing up the Philosophy SMP current season and Blockheads, and then just walking away from everything and just quitting. I have no idea what I'm going to do, and there's other things that I'm considering besides that I won't talk about in this video. If you find my blog, I have hidden a blog, didn't really hide it, I just haven't really announced it. But there is a blog, it's connected to my current blog, Bliss Writer. There is a blog where I'll express that stuff that's beyond the scope of what I can talk about here in this format. And I might actually sit down and write something there, and that actually has helped me a little bit, having that other blog where I don't try to be a spiritual person. I don't try to be, I just honest about how I'm feeling and raw, and I don't hide anything from anybody. And so it's kind of nice to have that. I need that public expression. I don't know why I need that public expression. I don't understand what drives me. I'm not somebody that wants to be in the limelight, but for some reason I need that that public expression, and I don't understand why those two things exist like that. I don't understand how that works. Let's take a nap. It's dark time. Zombies will be out soon enough to chew on me. I might have to tell the guys I won't be able to stream this afternoon. I really don't want to let them down, but physically I'm not able to handle it right now either. Over this last couple of days, in case you guys are wondering why I haven't been around much or talking much or on the Discord much, I was actually camping with my uncle and my dad. And we ended up going to the Ape Caves. If you guys know anything about the Mount St. Helens area, then you will probably know about the Ape Caves. Turns out that I'm neighbors with Scar. Not like really close neighbors, but Scar is just across the river from where I live, believe it or not. I don't know if I'd ever be able to meet the guy. I'd sure love to take him out for a cup of coffee if I ever had any. Well, I don't know if you can even drink coffee, but you know what I mean. Just to chat with him for a little bit, but I don't know that he'd be open to that. And then I don't want to be a creepy stalker guy. But yeah, we're both in the Pacific Northwest, I guess. I was suspecting that that was the case. So he would know what I'm talking about. But I went to the Ape Caves with them, and we did the upper path. With the upper, I don't remember what they call it, the upper something, upper passage, I think. And it turns out that it's not just a hike through some caves, you know, no. You've got to scramble up over rocks. You've got to climb up a wall at one point. I mean, it is not an easy at all thing to do, and I wasn't in the physical shape to handle it when I started because I still haven't recovered from other physical issues. I'm definitely not in the shape now. I can barely hold my mouse right now. My hand keeps falling asleep. So this is not pleasant. But basically what I wanted to say was I don't know what else I can do. I don't know why I need to have any sort of public validation for what I'm doing, and I cannot figure out how to rekindle my interest and enjoyment for the parts of video editing that I liked. I don't know how to get back into it. Ultimately, I don't think I can continue to be a YouTuber and content creator if I cannot create more things than just streams. I don't want to just be a streamer. I don't think that that appeals to me. It's easier being a streamer because you can just stream and you don't ever have to edit your videos. But I don't necessarily need or want that path. It's weird, people think that I'm lazy or something. I don't want to work hard, you know, if I don't have to. I want to go with the flow, and I want things to be as effortless as possible, but I don't want to work hard unless I absolutely have to. But I'm not against hard work. But the whole streamer thing, I don't really feel like you're creating anything, and it isn't really my style. I don't know how to explain that, but with being a streamer, you have to be like talking to people and socializing and in the public eye, and I'm not really interested in that. And I wish I could explain or even understand very well what I'm trying to say or express here, but at the one time giving you guys a confusing message, I'm telling you that I don't seek or need public validation in the sense that, you know, streaming or whatever, but on the other hand, I do in the sense that creating content. So I don't know how to explain myself any better. I wish I had some better ways of talking at you and letting you know what's going on. But basically what's happened is I've gone through burnout. I am feeling, I learned or I felt that, but yeah, I went through a period of where I was burnt out and I didn't want to do the editing. And I gave myself space. I had learned to give myself space to just feel through whatever it is that I'm dealing with. So I handle all that correctly, but when I gave myself space and I stopped, at some subconscious level, I just quit, I guess is what happened. And I made it clear to myself that it had to be a conscious decision. If I was going to quit YouTube, it has to be a conscious decision. It can't just happen to me. I have to consciously choose that this is what we're going to do. But it didn't work that way, as far as I can tell. I just all of a sudden found myself no longer, able to do these things that I was doing. No longer able to create content because I stopped editing. I didn't keep to my schedule, and now I just can't resume. What got me through college, the way I looked at it, I went and I got all of the funding that is publicly available to everybody. I didn't get any scholarships or any special treatment. I got the same general funding as everybody else, and I got work-study jobs, and that's how I paid my way through college when I went to college. And I went with my strengths. I knew I was good with computers, so I went with a computer support degree. That's what I decided to do. And I looked at it as a job. I figured, okay, so let's look at it this way, that this is a job. I am being paid to go to school and to learn and to do this stuff. And with that mentality and mindset, I was not only able to graduate, and I don't say this to boast, but I want to be, comprehensive with the facts, and I do want to share and, share my accomplishments and take a little pride in the things that I actually have to be proud about. But I was able to graduate with honors. I made it onto the honor roll. And now maybe it may not be, there's always this tendency, I think it's a negative mental thing that some of us do, that to make less our positive accomplishments. And, I'm going to resist doing that. I'm not going to question how good the school was or, any of that stuff. I graduated with honors. I'm not going to think about anything else besides that. That's an accomplishment. I need to acknowledge that and just embrace that. And I worked for that. I worked through it, and I did that. And I tried to do the same kind of a mentality with the video editing. I saw content creation and video editing as part of my job as a content creator, necessary for me to do if I'm going to be a content creator, and I still see it that way. So if I'm not editing videos, I can't be a content creator. It's just as simple as that. And so that's how I was able to keep myself for so long editing the videos, because I could see that was my job. That's my responsibility as a content creator. But it's a little harder when there's no return on your investment of time and energy. I put all this time into being a content creator, and I have yet to have any sort of return on that investment of time and all that energy that I put into this. So now I'm trying to figure out, how do I rekindle that desire to edit videos? How do I get back to that? One of the things that I enjoyed when I was editing videos is the sense of accomplishment I got when I got finished and I had a video done. I think that was one of the things that I enjoyed about videos. There's immediate feedback. You can see the results of your work. It's obvious, it's visual. That was one thing. And then the other thing, my thoughts are getting fuzzy again, but the other thing was that I enjoyed storytelling. Now, when I learned that, making a video is basically telling a story, well, like I told you, I started out creatively as a writer. That's basically what I am, probably what I'm supposed to be, but I'm resistant to being a writer right now. And writers are storytellers. That's the best part of writing, is telling a story. So those are the things that I like about video editing. The things that I dislike about it is how tedious it is, how long it takes. What I disliked about writing was that it wasn't very visual. There was no gratification, no payoff. You wrote a chapter, so what? Who cares? I mean, only you know that you wrote a chapter. You can tell other people that you wrote a chapter, but it doesn't have the same weight as doing a video and saying, hey, I did a video, and then you could show people the video you did. Writing isn't visual. Video editing is. So that's basically where I am right now. I'm kind of stuck here. How do I, move from not wanting to video edit to having that desire to video edit again, or do I just quit? Is it time to quit? One thing I did realize with the whole burnout stage is that for a while there, I was identifying, I was making being burnt out, a part of my identity. I was identifying as being burnt out. I was identifying as that, focusing on being burnt out, focusing on my insomnia. I would identify with and say that I owned it as if I could own the thing, but I would talk about burnout and insomnia as if it were mine, my burnout, my insomnia. But you can't own burnout and you can't own insomnia, so it's not yours. And you shouldn't be trying to claim it that way. And I did figure out that I needed to stop focusing on being burnt out, and I needed to stop identifying as that. So this is the next stage for me is, okay, so now we're done with the whole burnout thing. What do I do? How do I proceed from this point? Unfortunately, I haven't been able to come up with an answer to that question. But this will update you guys. You guys will know why there's less and less content on this channel, what's going on in my head right now. If you got any resources you want to share, any supportive, helpful feedback, I'd appreciate it. I'm kind of stuck right now and I'm at a loss what to do at the moment. I'm going to try and force myself through do an episode of Blockheads this afternoon, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not. I can barely think or concentrate right now. I'll see what I can do to improve my mental state a little bit, but I'm just really at a loss at this point. I don't know what else to do. I mean, I moved from writing to level editing. I resisted the writing. I didn't want to be a writer. I didn't want to do the writing, and I moved to level editing, and then that didn't pan out for me, so I quit that. And now I've moved here to this content creation. Well, basically I moved to tutorial and video creation that way. Now I'm done, moved over to content creation for Minecraft. But I can't see anything else that I could do. I can't see any next step. Of course, I didn't see this step back when I was level editing either. I don't even know how I just kind of ended up here, and I don't know why I ended up here in the first place or what how this whole became part of my experience, I don't know. So obviously you're not going to know the next step till you're there, I guess. Nobody has, very few people have prescience where they would know what the next step is, but I'm not seeing anything I could do from this point. So that's not a pleasant feeling being there when you don't know, if this is it, what am I going to do next, and you don't have an answer to that. And I feel driven to produce. I feel driven to create or do something, not just be wasting my time. The most valuable thing that I have, even though I hate MJ DeMarco right now, I really despise that guy and his negative attitude. I feel that the guy's an overbearing asshole, but he does have some good information, and he is right on one thing. I think it was him that talked about this, but your most important asset or your most valuable asset is time. Well, I've got a lot of time. I mean, a lot of time. So I need to use it wisely. And I don't know what to use it wisely on next. And that's really throwing a wrench in the works for me. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining me on this little, I don't know what you'd call this. We'll call it Lost on the Way for now, because I don't know what else to call it. If you guys have any thoughts, though, please feel free to share them. And I want to thank you for watching. And maybe I'll see you a little later this afternoon on an episode of Blockheads.